This scythe once harvested souls for the grim Reaper himself. Yet it sat untouched in a shop for 50 years. To everyone else, it was nothing more than a worthless piece of junk. But one young man spent every last point he had to claim it. The moment he touched the scythe, everything changed. It was a growth-type relic that evolved alongside its master. And from that moment on, the world was about to witness the birth of its greatest catastrophe. In Tinsisra become one. At the age of 18, everyone must undergo a class awakening ceremony. But 99% awaken into ordinary life classes, jobs considered nearly useless compared to support classes. Combat classes, on the other hand, are what everyone dreams of obtaining.
Welcome to the ultimate genetic lottery at our academy, where a glowing magic circle decides your entire social destiny. Principal Miller stands ready, calling the nervous crowd forward to face their fate. Everyone is sweating bullets, praying they won't end up unlocking some useless lifestyle class that pays minimum wage. The heavy tension peaks as the first poor bastard steps up, desperately hoping for greatness, but the system brutally crushes his dreams by turning him into a basic farmer. He collapses right there, completely devastated to realize he is permanently destined to remain at the absolute bottom of society forever. The second student also gets a lifestyle class, making Master Thorn frown heavily at the pathetic sight. He openly mocks our academy for struggling to produce even one combat class. But everything completely shifts when Sarah steps up, shocking the master with mental power twice as high as anyone else. Sarah proudly enters the formation to unleash her rare potential. Suddenly, she triggers a massive cosmic phenomenon as two giant elemental orbs appear above her head. The stage erupts into blinding fire and lightning, successfully awakening her as a rare class elemental mage, earning endless praise from the teachers. Now it is my turn to step up. Master Thorn arrogantly predicts I can only manage a basic life class, but a terrifying energy erupts beneath my feet. A massive pillar of light shoots into the sky, dwarfing Sarah's phenomenon. Suddenly, thousands of dark shadows emerge from the terrifying black clouds. Some terrified students collapse to the ground in pure fear, but these undead shadows from hell suddenly salute me as their king. They turn into necromantic energy, flowing into my body to awaken my unique hidden class, the Necromancer. This instant revelation sparks deep jealousy and fear among the entire crowd. I do not care about their reactions. Master Thorn quickly stops me, demanding to see the hidden skills of a unique class. Checking my interface, I discover I can summon one iron-ranked skeleton warrior. With a single thought, my Bany boy appears, sending waves of terror through the surrounding students. To test its power, the master fires a sudden beam of light at it. My skeleton's killing intent immediately surges, showing insane hostility toward the high-level master. Thorn is surprised a level 1 summon shows such aggression. After I recall the warrior, my jealous friends rush over, bombarding me with annoying questions. The system notes my summon limit is 10, meaning if I expand this space infinitely, I can eventually one-shot giant dragons. Sarah runs over furiously to challenge my exam scores, but I just say and walk away. The second I return to my private house, a sudden system notification completely changes the game. Master Thorn unexpectedly visits to discuss my mysterious older sister's legacy, warning me about the danger. But my interface flashes, granting me total amplification and damage transfer. My skill effects increase 5-fold, transferring damage to my summons. With attributes multiplied by 5, I am officially invincible against anyone of the same level, making me the ultimate god of this world. The next day, Benny wants to team up to clear dungeons together, but I quickly shut him down. Soloing is the only real way to maximize my experience gains and level up fast. Principal Miller is completely shocked by my insane plan to enter the highly prestigious Summer Capital Academy, which requires an impossible level before the big exam. Moira reached level 16 before she was accepted, leaving me only 1 week to grind. As I head toward the beginner portal, Sarah approaches me with a smug face, loudly challenging me to a leveling race. I just ignore her weird attitude, step inside, and immediately summon my powerful skeleton warriors to start slaughtering monsters. My boosted skeletons instantly tear through the beasts, and within half an hour, I achieve my very first level up. My passive skills upgrade beautifully, increasing my summon limit. I command my growing army to hunt separately, mapping out the entire dungeon while easily securing my second level up of the day as my experience points skyrocket. I feel absolutely invincible with my stats surging, but this dungeon still holds some dangerous surprises. While exploring deeper, a heavy wooden branch suddenly shoots out from the bushes, sending me flying several meters. It is a level 8 whip tree, a creepy plant monster that aggressively attacks any living thing entering its territory. My brave skeletons charge the trees, destroying them one by one until I harvest enough raw experience points to reach level 7. The dungeon timer ends, and the magical teleportation circle glows brightly, forcibly sending my exhausted body back to the school entrance where the stunned faculty members are waiting to see my final results. Principal Miller runs over expecting a complete failure, but his jaw drops when he checks my interface. The professors are absolutely stunned to see that I actually reached level 7 in a beginner zone. They happily hand over my official travel permit, allowing me to finally level up in the dangerous outskirts of West Sea City. Sarah exits the portal holding a proud level 5 record, but she freezes in shock upon seeing me meditating. Her wealthy father arrives in a fancy car to pick her up, boasting about his own past. Meanwhile, my excited classmate runs over, tightly hugging my leg and desperately begging to know how I became so ridiculously strong. The very next morning, I head over to the Grand Divine Summer Empire Exchange to verify my identity. I browse the quest board, learning how missions are ranked from normal difficulty up to the terrifying hell difficulty. After showing my documents to the armored guards, they open the heavy gates and officially let me leave the city. I step out into the dangerous outskirts, where a wild goblin suddenly spots me and aggressively lunges with a wooden club. My skeleton warrior steps in, taking 0 damage before instantly crushing the monster. I summon my entire undead squad, watching the endless stream of kill notifications pop up as we begin our massive outdoor hunt. A massive horde of green goblins suddenly surrounds us, and my skeleton army immediately clashes with the enemy force. As they fight, I quietly think about my sister's legendary achievements at the academy. I focus my mind, pushing my limits further until my faithful skeleton warriors successfully upgrade into powerful, bronze-ranked undead soldiers with active skills. My newly upgraded army of bronze skeletons easily dominates the field, making my grinding speed incredibly fast. But suddenly, a sharp black arrow shoots out from the shadows, piercing my right shoulder. Before I can react, a mysterious female assassin dressed in dark leather swiftly brushes past me, making brief eye contact before disappearing. My gaze turns icy cold as I calmly pull the sharp arrow from my bleeding shoulder. Suddenly, two heavily armed strangers emerge from the bushes, holding a combat bow. Instead of apologizing for hitting me, they arrogantly demand to know where the assassin went, completely unaware they just made the biggest mistake of their lives. The arrogant mage sneers at my skeleton summons, calling my unique class completely evil and unnatural. However, his cautious teammate quickly warns him not to cause any unnecessary trouble. Thankfully, they decide to walk away and leave, completely unaware they just narrowly escaped a very brutal and painful death in this dark forest. I realize my leveling speed is still way too slow for the upcoming Elite Academy exam. I decide not to return to the safe city tonight, setting up a camp and starting a warm campfire. Suddenly, a suspicious figure slowly approaches my lonely camp out of the dark, and I realize it is the assassin from earlier. The mysterious girl looks completely exhausted and instantly grabs my freshly roasted sweet potato, devouring it like a starving wild beast. She then proceeds to gulp down a massive bottle of fresh water before looking up to ask for my name, though I simply stare at her in complete silence without giving any answer. Realizing I am not a talkative person, she playfully suggests we use our system detection skills on each other instead. But when our glowing fingertips touch, her eyes go completely wide with absolute shock as she stares at my mysterious status panel, having never even heard of my powerful and rare Necromancer class before. I ask why her stats are hidden, and she proudly destroys her cloaking badge, revealing her status as a high-level shadow assassin. We continue chatting quietly by the warm fire, but she suddenly senses a terrifying wave of murderous intent nearby as 3 hostile figures rapidly close in on our exact position. An enemy arrow suddenly flies out of the dark forest, and she barely reacts in time to dodge the deadly projectile. Unfortunately, it turns out to be an area marking skill, creating glowing white target marks right above both of our heads and completely destroying her crucial, life-saving stealth advantage in a single, terrifying split second of this encounter. 3 hostile hunters emerge from the thick trees, with their dangerous archer crouching high up on a branch while the mage and heavily armored warrior slowly walk toward us. They assume we are evil partners, laughing mockingly as they prepare to brutally loot our corpses for valuable, high-level skill scrolls, weapons, and all our expensive adventuring gear. The girl urgently begs me to run away while she distracts them, but I know she is just trying to reassure herself. The 3 hostile hunters quickly spread out, raising their weapons and channeling their deadly magical energy, preparing to launch a perfectly coordinated, fatal strike to completely wipe both of us out without any hesitation or mercy. I remain completely unimpressed by their flawless teamwork, and quietly raise my pale hand to summon a single skeleton warrior. The girl instantly panics, tightly grabbing my arm to drag me away, only to realize in absolute horror that her feet have already been tightly bound by glowing magic silk threads on the dark forest ground. With no escape left, she bravely pushes me back to take the incoming fireball and arrow skills alone. She closes her eyes expecting death, but suddenly, 2 powerful skeleton warriors materialize out of thin air behind us, easily blocking the massive explosions with their highly amplified defensive attributes, huge bodies, and heavily armored shields. The thick smoke slowly clears, revealing my undead summons standing completely unharmed in the embers. The enemy team instantly freezes in absolute shock at this impossible strength. Before they can even process what is happening, eerie blue soul flames suddenly ignite on their bodies, rapidly and painfully draining their entire life force away into the air. Dozens of elite skeleton warriors rise from the dark shadows, completely surrounding the terrified hunters, while the assassin watches with her mouth wide open in shock. With a single, cold thought, I lock my icy gaze onto the trembling targets and finally issue the ultimate command to launch a devastating, lethal attack on them. My massive army of skeleton warriors aggressively swarms forward to destroy the enemy. Terrified by their incoming fury, the enemy mage desperately activates his glowing magic shield and immediately chants his ultimate fire spell, releasing a massive, blinding wave of hot flames directly from his body to knock my vanguard back. But his struggle is completely useless. A skeleton warrior instantly charges straight through the dissipating flames, brutally slicing the screaming mage's body into 3 bloody pieces. Even the fast archer with insane agility cannot outrun my fast summons. On the other side, the heavy warrior desperately activates his ultimate defense skill, hoping to survive. The brave knight thinks he can escape, but I command my skeleton to use its active skill. The skeleton's dark aura surges violently, completely terrifying the helpless warrior before shattering his defensive shield with a lethal slash. He helplessly accepts his dark fate as Raven watches this effortless massacre in pure, speechless shock. The intense battlefield finally falls silent, leaving only the cold bodies of those 3 hunters. I search the area, finding several pieces of rare equipment and weapons dropped from their corpses. Since this gear is useless to both of us, I casually sell everything to the portable bank for quick cash. The only valuable item left is a low-level skill scroll, but I have no clue how to activate it. Following Raven's funny advice, I loudly shout the word use, but absolutely nothing happens, earning me some playful teasing. I then inject my mental energy into it, successfully learning the god-tier corpse explosion skill. This legendary skill instantly detonates nearby corpses to deal massive damage. As the campfire slowly dies down, Raven looks at me with a warm, beautiful smile. She reaches into her bag and presents me with a glowing chest containing an extremely valuable intermediate skill scroll as a sincere reward for saving her life. She explains that she accidentally found this incredibly rare treasure inside a beginner dungeon, which is exactly why those greedy men hunted her across cities. I am genuinely surprised by her kind gesture, realizing this skilled assassin is actually not a materialistic girl at all, making me respect her a lot more. Raven then asks about my future plans, and I tell her my goal of entering the Summer Capital Academy. She highly recommends that I challenge the famous Divine Summer Tower first. Reaching higher floors in this legendary trial will easily double my rewards, earning me valuable points that are worth more than gold. While sharing these valuable academy secrets, she suddenly falls fast asleep right by my side. I quietly meditate through the quiet night to recover my energy. Exactly at dawn, she finally wakes up refreshed, rubbing her eyes before preparing to leave, telling me to level up fast so I can carry her later. We bid each other a friendly farewell, and she swiftly disappears into the green forest. Once she is fully gone, I slowly walk back to the bloody clearing where we fought yesterday. Staring silently at the 3 fresh corpses lying on the ground, a very bold and destructive idea suddenly enters my mind.